beautiful day. So a couple of things here. First of all, I wanted to show you that we made these kits for people that need are leading a Seder, and it's not meant for people that are needy. It's actually meant for our community. We had them pack 250 of these, and inside there's a beautiful Seder mat, and there's a Haggadah. There's a Haggadah, plus there's a Seder guide, and then there is a beautiful mat that you can use as your Seder plate, all done very beautifully. And then there is a silver-plated Kiddush cup that we have in here, all the way on the bottom, which you could use for the Kiddush. And then there is the Seder plate items that were done today, fresh, and we're giving them out to everyone to be able to lead their Seder and be able to have a more meaningful Seder. So if you know someone that needs one, or if you need one, we'll be happy to put one outside Chabad. You can pick it up, you can wipe it off to make sure everything's safe, or we could try to have someone drop it off for you. We also have shmura matzah, boxes of shmura matzah with 2 matzahs inside that are sitting outside at Chabad, that if you need, you're welcome to take. Okay, just let us know. Now on to the thought of the day. So one of our favorite things about the Haggadah is Seder is Elijah. Elijah comes to every home, and there's been so many jokes going on today and this week because of all the corona things. Is, are we going to let Elijah in? He's been to too many houses. What's with social distancing? What's with disinfecting, etc., etc.? You know, last year we always have this thing with our kids, that tradition is that after you finish benching, you finish the grace after meals, you pour, or before actually, you pour a big glass for Elijah. And every year I always make sure to push the table a little so the wine shakes to the kids, because the kids always say, hey daddy, you're pouring it back in, Ta, and Elijah didn't drink from it. So last year, Baal, who's now 4 but was 3 then, was very disturbed, and Baal said, Ta, I did not see Eliyahu Navi come. What's going on? And I said, I'm telling you, Eliyahu Navi came. And he says, Tati, I didn't see it. It was very sad. So the kids were having fun. So my son Eli, who just turned bar mitzvah, went into the house. He took a white tablecloth and he wrapped his whole head in it, and he put his glasses over it and a hat, and he went around in the back, and he came knocking on the door, and he opened the door and he came in, and Beryl got a terrible fright. He was crying, he was screaming. It looked like the angel of death, not like Elijah. And after a while he turns to my son, he says, listen, Ellie, he says, that it wasn't an Eliyahu Navi, because he doesn't wear a white tablecloth. But anyways, we all have those stories. But I always ask the question by the Seder, why does Eliyahu Navi, why does he come through the door? We open the door, we get up. I mean, Elijah, it's a spiritual thing. He's an angel. He doesn't need us to open the door for him. And I always kid, why can't he come through the chimney like some others do? Not to compare. But why do we get up? And the message I always try to give, and I think it's an important message to teach our kids, that if we want to see Elijah, if we want to be able to celebrate that beautiful spirituality and holiness in our lives, we need to get up and open the door. Spirituality, holiness, goodness, godliness doesn't just come by sitting on your bum at the Pesach table and saying, hey, when's Elijah coming? You want Elijah? Get up there, make an effort, do something, and then you'll see Elijah. And it's an important lesson for everything in our life in spirituality. Spirituality is not the free thing. It comes through effort. You don't get it just by sitting around. You have to put in a tremendous effort. And now I want to tell you a story that you could share with your children at the Seder. It's one of my favorite stories. And the story is with the Baal Shemtov. Now, back in the day, the Baal Shemtov was the founder of the Hasidic movement, lived 300 years ago. And many people prayed to God that they should have the revelation to be able to see Elijah the prophet. And there was this one Hasidic guy who was a very spiritual man and a disciple of the Baal Shemtov, and he really wanted to see Elijah the prophet. So one day he came to the Baal Shemtov and he pleaded with him before Passover. He says, if only I could see Elijah the prophet, it would be amazing. And the Baal Shemtov kept on pushing him off. Finally, one year he couldn't anymore. He says to the Baal Shemtov, really, I want to see Elijah the prophet. What can I do to see Elijah? The Baal Shemtov says, you know what? You want to see, see, there you go. We're outside today, new experiment. You want to see Elijah the prophet? I'll tell you what you got to do. I want you to go to this far city, a couple of hours drive from where we live. And on the outskirts, there's a little hut. And I want you to spend the first days of Passover there. But before you do that, I want you to go and buy the most delicious foods and clothing for kids and matzah and whatever you could think of and tablecloths and candles and bring it with you. The guy says, Rebbe, you want me to leave my family for the Seder? The Seder is the most important time to be with family. How can I leave my family at this critical time? And the Baal Shem Tov says to him, listen, you want to see Elijah? You want to see the great prophet Elijah? You have to make an effort. So the guy thinks, he goes to speak to his wife. He doesn't know if his wife's going to agree. She's going to let him leave the family for Pesach. But his wife knew that for so many years he was dreaming and begging to see Elijah, that his wife says, you know what, I'm going to relent this time. So he goes, he buys all the most delicious things he could get, delicacies for Passover and toys and clothing, and he goes to the city. He travels all the way. He gets directions. He finds a little hut and he knocks on the door. Once, twice, they open the door and he sees a bunch of kids in rags, ripped clothing. There's no light in the house. There's barely a table. Everything is poor and simple. And he says, can I spend Passover with you? They say, of course. Another Jew wants to spend Passover, come. So he brings in all the goodies and all the clothing and all the food. And they have the most beautiful Yom Tov. The kids have nice clothing. They have delicious food. There's candles to burn. They're able to sing the Manishtana the way you're supposed to. Life is good. But at the end of Passover, this devastated chassid didn't see Elijah the prophet. So what's he going to do? He comes back to the Baal Shem Tov. He travels all the way back and he's devastated. He says, Rebbe, you told me that if I went, I would see Eliyahu Hanavi. And I didn't. I gave up holiday of Passover with my kids and my wife. For what? So the Baal Shem Tov says, you know what? If you go back again for the last days, then I think you'll see it. But I want you to bring the same things you had. Good food and toys and meat and chicken. Bring everything again and go for the last days. But this time he says, before you go into the house, I want you to knock and don't open the door. Wait and listen. The chassid says, Rebbe, my wife's going to kill me. She's going to divorce me. I left her for the first day. She knew I'd be home for the last days of Passover. To be the whole Passover without my wife? Listen, the Rebbe says, you want to see Eliyahu Hanavi? You got to do what you got to do. So he goes to his wife, he pleads with her, and she agrees. And he goes and travels out with laden, delicious foods, and all these lovely things. He shows up, and he comes to the door, and he knocks on the door. And before the door could open, he listens. And he hears the kids running. And the kids run to their mother and their father. They say, Tati, Mommy, maybe it's Elijah the prophet who's coming to visit us again. Maybe he's coming with all those special foods and clothing for our family. And at that moment, the chassid understood what the Baal Shem Tov was telling him. The Baal Shem Tov was saying to him, you want to see Elijah, the prophet Elijah? You want to see the angel Elijah? You could be the angel Elijah. You, every single one of us, has to be an angel in someone else's lives. This guy, when he came to spend Passover with his family and he brought them food and clothing and all these things, he became their angel. He became the one who was their Eliyahu Hanavi. And when the Baal Shem Tov was pleading with him, was to understand that it's not about seeing Eliyahu Hanavi. It's about each and every one of us being Eliyahu Hanavi, being that angel in someone's lives. My friends, what better message could we give our children and ourselves as we get ready to celebrate the Seder 2020, 5780, in a time when so many people need an angel. So many people are waiting for Elijah to come. And you know what? There isn't one of us that is going to listen to this story and going to watch this video that can't be an Elijah to someone. Elijah doesn't mean that you change the world for them. It could be a call. It could be dropping off a package for them. It could be picking up their medicines. It could be just FaceTiming with them once a day when they're lonely. You and I and every single one of us have to get up from our Seder place and open the door and let Eliyahu Hanavi in. We have to get up and make an effort to be Eliyahu Hanavi for someone else, to change their life, to change their trajectory, to change their loneliness. There's nothing worse than loneliness for a person that doesn't have family, that doesn't have children, that doesn't have parents. We might be blessed, but what are we doing for someone else? So, with that, I'll leave you for the day, and I'm hoping that we can all listen to the Baal Shemtov's insightful words and be the Malach Elokim, the angel of God, Eliyahu Hanavi, that comes, Vivaser Lano B'Sarot Tovot Yeshuot V'Nechamot. In the grace after meals every day, we say God should send Elijah the prophet, and he should be Mevaser. He should give us good tidings and good news to all of us. May he come this year and give us good news and good tidings that the pandemic and the sickness and the suffering, both materially, both physically, both emotionally, or spiritually, should be finished from all of us. Amen. See you tomorrow. Go take a nice walk. Do social distancing, but the weather is just gorgeous.